Greetings everybody, welcome back to AI War 2. We have gotten that 5th Spire City up, and it's time to pause and take a look at where things are and how we're going to move towards the end game. I did move it up to Sita, not in Hollerith. I did make an error in judgment. I did one too many, I think, of the science extraction hacks. I wasn't going to have enough hacking points to do all of the debris hacks that I'm going to have to do going forward. So I decided I wanted to handle that problem now rather than later because I wanted this next relic to be my backup choke point on this side. So I moved up to Sita, Hollerith, Troya, now Economic Systems. Meanwhile, the Dark Spire and the AI have been constantly fighting over Wolf. The AI has it back now, but for most of the time, it actually was under Dark Spire control. And we're now up also to Tier 2 extragalactic war units, including the lovely Chimera artillery that they're starting to spawn there. It took, I want to say, 40 minutes, maybe 45, for the relic to get all the way over here to Sita. And meanwhile, we were under constant attack and constant energy starving, because they would come into the system, we'd destroy them, but we'd lose a bunch of turrets and mines and everything. They'd have to rebuild, and they'd have like 10 seconds to rebuild before the next group would come in. It was just a constant battle there. Our choke points are still very much impregnable. Like, there was no serious threat at all that I would lose them. It was just constant fighting. So, what do we want to build in here? Well, I want to focus now on the Spire ships, and I'll get more into that in a bit. But I want to get a shipyard up in here.
Yes, sir.
And then I think I'm also going to throw up a neural net. I'm not going to worry about engineering center, anything like that, you know, for the backup locations at the moment. So that's what I'm going to have here. And I'm also setting up, like, I've got group 4 for the Spire ships on this end, and I'm going with group 9 for the Spire ships on this end, and so on, working all that out. Now, we do have, as you can see, we actually have a battleship down here. So this is escalating. And I want to build some more in here as well. And here, for defensive reasons, it's time we're going to get our first Spire Fortress, the Lesser Spire Fortress. And let's see, about probably somewhere over here. That's probably a good spot. I'm going to throw you up. So that'll use up our additional sockets in the capital. The other system that has room is here in Gamma. And here again, I want to go with more ships. I'm going to get rid of the Shard Reactor and go with a Destroyer.
Absolutely, sir.
And a Frigate Neural Net. So that'll add some more firepower there. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is I was sort of looking at... Come on, let me place it. There we go. I was looking at our research, because we obviously want to spend more of that. So, thinking about the end game, what's going to be most important to us at the end when we do the Transceiver Imperial Exo? And clearly, that's going to be damage. They're knocking out our Great Shields already fairly quickly, sometimes with their Plasma Guardians and things of that nature. That's obviously going to get much worse. So I don't think investing in force fields or protection is the thing. I think killing the enemy as quickly as possible, blowing up their ships as fast as possible with the greatest DPS we can muster, that's going to be the most effective way. Meaning, I want to do some things. One, I want to max out my turrets. So if I look at my fleets here, this Citadel could get some bonus to the EMP and translocators. So I'll spend a bit of science there. 1,500. And now those turrets will be maxed out. This other one, you're already there. I could get a little bit more damage, of course. Well, more than a little, but relatively speaking, a little out of that Citadel. Not going to be a huge focus, though. Don't think I want to do that. So here, we could bump up this one a couple to get some more out of the fusion and ambush turrets. So we're going to do that. You're already maxed out. I have no reason to improve you. And same here. Okay, so that knocks me down to 9,100. And then I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to boost up the Hive Golem, because for a little over 3,000 science, I could essentially get another 100k DPS out of this, and that would be nice. But I think far more useful, actually, is going to be in a different direction. Namely, I'm going to continue investing in energy. If I boost up the economic command stations, that will allow me to produce more Spire ships, less shards in the other Spire cities. And of course, that investment will only increase in value as all of these cities mark up. So I think, at least for now, I definitely want to do 32 economic command stations, and that means another 3.2 million. That means more than 3 shards reactors don't have to be built while I'm doing this. So we do have a very healthy energy bonus, but we're eventually going to want to build more turrets in Gamma, more turrets in Theta. And I think that's really the approach I want to take. And, you know, I think I'm going to want to probably just keep going with these economic command station boosts and just throw as many Spire ships into the grinder as I can. Of course, they're helpful not just for defense, but also for going after the Spire relics. So it's now time for an Exo Strike, which are now up to about 1,400 strength each. Yay, hello everybody. Of course, we actually now have something resembling a Spire fleet, so that helps. Yes, we're getting everything, you know, crippled and whatnot, but we can still handle it. And yay, the fortified Tesla Guardians. And of course, that was only like half of it. They actually aren't all here yet. Let's move in the Spire a little bit more. They're about as good as anything is at clearing those out. Of course, that's true for most things. Let's get all our engineers out, ready to repair. And I'm just basically waiting for the rest of it to show up. Because it was down to about 1.3k threat or something before that hit. So I know there's more coming. Some more of my ships making their way back into the system for the latest Instigator Strike. But, I mean, we still aren't building any of the turrets from the battle stations or citadels in here. We don't need the extra support for now. That time will come. There we go. Ah, yes. Everybody's wondering where the artillery golems have been. There's been a couple. Whee! Okay. So now, I'm just going to take a quick moment and pop in because we need to do our next hack to find out where the next relic is. By the way, they spawned another relic train. The other one was also on the opposite side near the homeworld. So that didn't help us out any. I'm hoping that fun thing ceases. Yeah, go ahead and clear out all this nonsense while you're in here. But mostly, I want to use Kennedy as my hacking point for all of these because it's right next to us, and it should tell us where it is just by number of hops. So I'm thinking I can pretty much get them all in 2 hacks. One here, and then I can prepare for whatever it is, and then go over there. If I were to get the hack on the first try, that actually wouldn't help. I wouldn't be able to set up a good advanced choke point. Okay, 4 hops away, which is T-Van. Okay, well, we've seen this movie before. I need to set up a choke point in Midway to defend against it after we push the relic past. And if you're wondering, where am I going to send these? I want to gradually push them back on both sides. So this one, I'm going to put in Pandora. I'd like the next one to go back to Hollerith. Then we can shove that back to Thalia and to whatever the heck this is, Kapara, and so on. Keeping as many of them closer to the front as possible. The plan has changed because it needs adjusting in order to survive contact with the enemy. They spawned a relic train not shortly after I had this built up, so I abandoned Midway because I don't want to deal with 2 Spire relics at once. That would be unwise. I'd be dealing with going through a debris chase through their relic reaction force. No thank you. And then we also have a wormhole invasion on Troya on the other side of the galaxy. So we don't really have any choice here but to split up to some degree. So I'm going to take a couple of my support groups and go over there. I'm going to take these fleets and head over there. You can come back in here. And then I'm also going to take my Spire ships from this direction and head in there as well. So we need to defend against both of these. This is why we keep a reserve. It's time to put it to use. And then this exostrike should not actually hit in Troya because it can't go through that wormhole until this first countdown is over. So that should be to our benefit. If we pop in here, first thing I want to do is switch over to military. And we'll speed this up a bit to get through this a little more quickly. There we go. Got to build up those factories too. There they are. Now, force fields, and I don't care if it goes through to Sita. We just have to stop any of it from going into Hollerith here, further back into our territory. I'll use Outguard if I need to. Whatever has to happen to defend against this. I also have to watch the progress on that relic train. Force fields up. Next item on the agenda, long-range turrets. Spiders. Counter snipers. And we've still got positive metal. So that means we need more. Let's throw up ambush turrets. All of them around where they're coming in. There we go. You can come in here, and you can just go on pursuit. A Wendigo. And more fighting in Wolf. Color me unsurprised. You're en route to your final destination. I need to slow this down because I believe that's the homeworld easily. Yeah. So whenever it decides to get there, it's going to crash right in here to Kirstein, and we're going to need to take care of it immediately. Let me make sure that we have you on pursuit out here, because I don't expect the reaction to be tame. Okay, I don't care what gets crippled in here. I just need to get the relic out safely when that does indeed happen. And we definitely want all of the Seekers in here too. Ambush and Seekers, basically, for defending against these wormhole invasions are automatic go-tos. And then I fill in with whatever else. But I at least want to have those. I just don't know how long it's going to take for that to hit. But I don't want to be going super fast and go by that moment. Now, the Exo Strike here, let's see how big this is. We're at almost 1,500. Okay. Pretty much exactly 1.5k. Let's throw up some more things in here. I think we want to go Pike. And then I'm also going to want to not forget my tachyons. Do one here. Let's do a few around this. Let's throw up every single tractor array we have. There we go. Throw in the assault frigates, the watchman frigates, and why not just do the sentries for fun? And that, plus the other ships I'm sending in, should be plenty to handle this for the moment. Hey, look, hold on. We have some fun friends in here. This is our Exo. At least part of it. There we go. And now we're going to go about repairing everything. So nice to have the battleships. It really feels like you have some force when you start getting those into play. And here it is. Now our metal, notice, has started to recover. That's temporary. Bingo. We have ourselves a Spire Relic. We're going to take you back to Pandora. Second time this game that Pandora has played a significant role. And let's see how long it takes them to go after it. Not long. Of course, it's not protected by any shields, including the Great Shield. It is invulnerable at the moment, but that's not going to last forever. However, if it lasts long enough for it to get out of the system, that's fine. You know, about another 3 minutes on the next attack into Troya. All I really care about is getting the relic out of Kirstein, because nothing's leaving Kirstein in this direction. We're fortified enough to ensure that. Yep. Okay, we're good. The attacks continue, and we're seeing basically what I was talking about before. Like, you fight them off, then you repair, and the metal goes down, and the metal goes back up because you can't repair anymore because more stuff comes in. And overall, it feels like we're very slowly losing metal at the moment. It had started to rally. We're very slowly losing it. Let's pop back into Troya now as we're about to get hit. Okay, about 500 strength or so. That's fairly typical. Might expect them to go a little bit stronger. Spiders and Force Field Guardians. Not having any trouble with this. And the Force Field's trying to hide out over here. And now they're gone. Okay, so that's done. Kesselman's getting hit. And these are... Yeah, I don't want to let these Teslas hang out. I'm going to bring back in Spire Fleet, because there is actually some danger there. The Teslas will just hang out and absorb so much damage that they will prevent repairing in between attacks. Meanwhile, they'll encourage more of the Hunter Fleet to show up. Neither one of those things are really good for me to have happen at the same time. So if I can get my Spire ships in here, work them out here, and gradually wear down their Teslas, that's going to be to my benefit. Yep. It does allow us to clean out some of their... Okay. So, Kesselman is up, Bame is up, and we have a new relic on Pandora. Don't really care about that right now. You are a poltergeist. I'm surprised my fleet is taking as long as it is to get in here. So 150 some. More Chimera artillery, because you must. There we go. So I want you to hang out right on the edge. Nope, right on the edge. Don't do that. Oh, I have them on pursuit. My bad. Yeah, and then when they spawn in the extra galactics, that means it's time to go away. Yep, because the frigate just got toasted. I could spawn an outguard in here. I don't think I really need to. Just wait until we clear out some more of this. Debris on Bacchus. Nagao. Those are both in the favorable direction. let's go back after these. Especially that battleship should just be able to do some work. And that's a nice thing about getting this city upgraded during all this, is that we have a battleship. Okay, they're down to about 140 of these. Really make sure that we're right in here with them. Which you normally don't want to do with Teslas, but we can take the punishment for the most part. Yeah, maybe we back off Mr. Frigate here and just keep the flagships at this work. Down to 100. So we're chopping through them much quicker than the turrets would. Okay, one of them's on Lurdorf. We're going to ignore that. We're going to get these other two. And we still have plenty of time, so I just want to clear these out. And, you know, we're doing fine from a survivability standpoint. There. Yeah. And now they're bringing in some more fun. 50 some. And our zombies have decided to go elsewhere. I'm not sure why. Meanwhile, Troya is just hunky-dory. $25. Almost got rid of you. Chew 'em up. Okay. Now you can repair. And we can also send you back into here. Or actually, no, back to Troy. Because the nice thing about being here is the shipyard's in Ceta. So it can rebuild you while you're in here fighting all of this, which is a double win. Active Eye on Secundus. Here. Huh. So there's an alerted eye on eye fighting the Dark Spire. Isn't that fun? Yes, expand that way all you want. Just don't expand out towards me. I'm totally fine with that. Let's see how this next hit in Troya goes. Chewing them up just fine. It would appear. I don't know why we're not attacking those. There we go. I think it's time to go after the debris. So we're going to grab everybody that can basically move on this end. And let's hop into Kennedy. Another Exo Strike coming. They're going to throw a bunch more at Wolf. But the Exo Strike is what I'm worried about. Having that potentially go into Troya. Because I think it's going to hit before we actually get rid of that wormhole. Bacchus and Nagao. So this is one of our locations. Hello. How are all of you? Let's get the hat going. Time for our Spire Boys to do what they are paid for. Blow things up. And of course the Hive Golem contributing a not insignificant amount to that. Okay, they're all leaving. Let's keep on moving. all kinds of things happening now. But mostly I'm concerned with the debris at the moment. Which we need to get to Bacchus. One more system over. Looks like everybody here is fleeing. Let's just shift over here by the exit point.
One of our planets is under attack.
Troya still doing fine. And yeah, that's it for the wormhole. Indeed. Beautiful. Okay, now that means the exostrike can't come in here. They were bracketed just perfectly for us, so none of them came in here. Otherwise, I used outguard. We needed to build more. We need to do a lot of things, but I don't have to bother now. So we can load you up. Okay, we can send our Spire fleet back to Kesselman. And in just a moment here, there we go. All of you can come back this way to eventually help deal with that relic search. And also help deal with the impending attack that we're going to be seeing from the exostrike. Because I think we're still going to be out here dealing with all of these fun people with the hacking when that hits. Okay. Into Bacchus. It's going to be our next debris victory. How much is in here? A couple hundred. Nothing we can't handle, right? Analyze debris.
Metal reserves exhausted. Construction
Black Widow's getting itself hit pretty decently, but the tide of this now heading our way. Very nice. We got one debris. There's a new locus being built somewhere. Well, I'm guessing, I'm not Segundus, it's probably Dijkstra. But look at this. They've got a string of 3 planets here. I think we're getting to the point where the Dark Spire is starting to push the AI around. And if that continues to happen, you know who's next. So there's nothing really to be done about it at the moment. It's just something we need to be prepared for. Okay, so next concern, exostrike. Let's get everybody that doesn't have to be over here out. Yep, that's why. Howdy, fellas. 1.4K at once, you don't say. And a number of golems. Now, we're still fighting it off. It's not so much we can't handle it, but we can always use more help to make it go a little more smoothly.
Construction facilities nearly depleted.
Lots of Teslas, which means what we're going to need in here is our Spire friends. Once they return, this should turn our way. Let's see how they're doing. They're not in here yet. And they're gradually making their way back about a system and a half away. Meanwhile, our metal is actually looking quite good, and we're done with that debris situation for the moment. So I should take a look at what I want to build. Okay, so Kesselman is currently having friends. Yes, more Teslas. Okay. We're going to want to send our Spire, once again, back out at that. But also, when we're able here, we want to build a lesser fortress. Let's see. That's probably a decent spot. So that will improve our resistance to all their wonderful extragalactic joy. Then, BAME will, because it's basically my economic system, given how far back it is, we'll simply plop down a couple more shard reactors. Keep that energy going so I don't have to work on it anywhere else. And in Pandora, I think we're working on building our fleet. Namely, with a couple of frigate neural nets. And of course, we've got to transfer over. You need to be part of group 9. Okay. So I need to wrap all that up, and we'll be ready to hop our way back along here and get that relic. Unless something else happens.